What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got yet another top 10 video to do for your entertainment this Saturday afternoon. So sit back and relax. If you are brand new to my channel, what I like to do here are laid back knife reviews, knife overviews. I like to do battles of popular models. I like to do unboxings, and I like to do top 5 and top 10 videos such as the one you're watching right now. So if that sounds good to you and you like the idea of 5 to 10 uploads a week, this might be the channel for you. If you are a new subscriber or a long-time subscriber and you're enjoying my content, if you want to, you can follow the link in the description of this video and make your way over to Nick Shabazz's channel, where he is currently hosting a Best New Gear Reviewer on YouTube contest. You can scroll down and find my video of the Benchmade Super Freak that I submitted to represent my channel, and you can fill out a form with some positive feedback if you see fit. While you're there, you can also check out some of the other amazing gear review channels that are also entered in the contest. And if you think they put out good content, then you should vote for them too. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the top 10 knives that I will never sell from my collection. Number 1, this is the Victorinox Cadet. This particular Cadet has been in my possession for quite a while. I have used the blade and resharpened it repeatedly. It's really been beat up. I use the blade a lot. I use this as a backup knife. You know, I always keep it in my back right-hand pocket. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you'll know that I do this. And I do it basically for reasons like if somebody asks me to borrow my pocket knife and I don't quite trust them with something nicer, I can hand them this guy because I don't really care if they beat this up. You know, I want to say this is like a $30 knife, and at that price, I'm not really too concerned about it. I don't really use the file, you know, or any of this, and I don't really use the can opener, but I definitely use the little flathead that's on the end of the can opener. I use the blade, and I definitely use the larger flathead / scraper pry bar on this side and the bottle opener. So this thing is just an awesome piece, and it's really not worth any money, so it's not something that I would sell for that reason either, but it's also super tough. That thing has been through the washing machine like 6 times, and it's been dropped on the ground and stomped on, and you know, I think it's fallen out of my pocket at the gym and like hit the treadmill and gotten launched into the wall behind me. These things are tough. I mean, these are awesome. If you've never checked one of these out, highly recommended, absolutely. Moving on to number 2. This is the Lion Steel TRE Titanium. TRE standing for 3 Rapid Exchange. This is the knife that has the, you know, the removable flipper tab, and it's got the thumb thing, and you know, you can have this on there, you can have the flipper tab and this on there, you can have neither or just the flipper tab, whatever you want. This was, I want to say this won an award at Blade Show, I can't remember. So my wife and I have this thing where she buys me a pocket knife every year for our anniversary. The deal is she buys me a knife, she buys me a nice knife, and I can have no say in it whatsoever. She basically just uses the information she's gathered from hearing me blab on about it for years, and then she gets me a folding knife. This was the first one that she got for me. I will never, ever get rid of it. And I really like this knife. Titanium and M390. It's got kind of a Hinderer Sparrow grind. I've gotten really good at flicking this out in reverse, getting my finger underneath there. It's a nice size. It also weighs like 2.5 ounces. It's a great gentleman's folder, and it's held up super well. Milled out, weighs like 2.5 ounces. I really, really like this knife. Runs on bearings. Did I say that? Anyways, number 3, also a gift from my wife, the Microtech SOCOM Elite. I love this knife. This is the version that's got the 7075 T6 aluminum, the upgraded hardcore aluminum. This is also M390 manual. This is not the automatic version. This was the second knife that my wife got for me, and I really like this one. It's got that thick .187 stock blade, that crazy aggressive sort of, I don't know if it's like a modified reverse tanto or drop point. You know, it looks like a drop point. That's what I always call it. It's got the thumb studs that act as the bracing lugs, and it also only weighs 5.25 ounces, which is pretty amazing for it being over 9 inches. Definitely never going to sell that knife. That thing is awesome. Moving on here to number 4. I don't know if this will come as a surprise to some of you or not. The Hogue Ritter RSK MK2 G2. I had to pre-order this. I'm never going to get rid of this because, in my opinion, you know, for the longest time, I've been searching for what I consider to be the perfect Benchmade Griptilian. Ironically, the best one in my opinion is not actually made by Benchmade. It's made by Hogue now. To me, this is the ultimate form. You have amazing ergonomics. You have that amazing blade shape from Hogue Ritter. It's in M390. The texture pattern on this thing is awesome. It's got the flow-through design. It has one of the best, if not the best, pocket clip in the entire world. And man, the fidget factor on this thing, since they're using the axis lock, or actually they call it the Able lock now, I think. Plus, it's got that nice semi-reflective stonewash. I mean, seriously, this is the best version of it. I have no interest in selling it. I don't know if they're, I imagine they'll eventually catch up and be able to produce these knives at the rate that people want to buy them. But for right now, you can't do that. I only paid $155 for this thing in the first place, making it one of the best deals out there for a folding knife in general. It's made in the USA. What's not to like about it? I'm never going to sell that thing. Even if they do become common and easy to get, I'm never going to sell it. Number 5. This one is actually a fixed blade. It's the only fixed blade on my list, but in my opinion, it is the perfect fixed blade. This is the SE3. This particular one has the gray coating and the black G10 handles. This is exactly what I want. It's 8 1/4 inches overall. 8 1/4, 8 1/2. I think it's 8 1/4. Has perfect ergonomics for me. It has the forward choil. It's made out of 1095, which means I can go outside and beat on it. I haven't done the review for this knife yet. I haven't even used this knife yet, but I can tell you right now, for me, this is the perfect fixed blade. I don't need a huge fixed blade, but I want one I can get my hand all the way around, and I can just barely get my hand all the way around this. It's about the same size, open length of the perfect folding knife, I think, for me. Feels good in the hand, feels good for weight. It's got a flat ground blade. It's got the coating on there. It's not super thick, so it's going to be nice and slicey. I feel like that's the knife I'm going to reach for when I don't feel comfortable using a folding knife for whatever it is that I'm doing. I have no interest in selling that, and I never, ever will. Moving on. This is going to be one that's going to be no surprise to my current subscribers. This is the Spyderco Shaman. It's a plain Jane Shaman. If you remember me unboxing this knife, I freaked out the first time I had it in hand and I unlocked that blade. These contoured scales feel amazing. I love the fact that it's got the compression lock on there. Mine is now swinging shut super, super smooth. I can do the forward or standard thumb flick. I can do the reverse flick. I can do the crazy unnecessary stuff that nobody really should ever be doing with a Spyderco knife. But my hands have become so accustomed to using this. It is one of my most carried knives, if not my most carried knife. S30V, and it's stonewashed, and it's just plain Jane. There's nothing special about it. It's easy to get this knife. I have no interest in selling it because I like using it too much. This is one of those knives that I'll use for almost anything. You know, I have very few reservations against using this knife. I love the pocket clip. I love the semi-flow-through design with the backspacer. I mean, it's just awesome, and it's got the right heft for me. It weighs 5 1/4 ounces. Ugh, I just love that knife. Moving on, what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 6. Number 7. This is the Beg Knives Steelcraft Series 3/4 Quake. And the reason that I will never sell this knife is because my good friend David, who is a huge part of why this channel became what it is currently, he gave this to me. This was a gift. And that was not only unbelievably cool of him, but I mean, it just... he picked something out himself after only recently becoming a knife enthusiast that actually has amazing materials and is made by, this is a collaborative effort between Riot and Beg Knives, and the fit and finish and the materials and everything on this knife are just amazing. On top of that, it's unique in the sense that it's actually got kind of an oddball front opening mechanism that's almost a front flipper. And I like that. The blade shape is unique. This is S35 VN. Beautiful grind lines. Black titanium with those amazing carbon fiber inlays. And we've got this fuller here. That polished backspacer. The ball bearing on the pocket clip. Steel lock bar insert that acts as the over travel stop. And the bearings on the inside of it. I mean, this is just an awesome knife. It's also wicked looking. There's not a lot out there that looks exactly like this. And I really like that. That knife is very special to me. I will never, ever sell it. Down to the top 3. You guys probably have a good guess as to what some of these are, talking mainly to my longtime subscribers. So Number 8 is going to be my Spyderco Mannix 2. This thing has been around for a while. In fact, it's been around almost as long as my channel has. Now, I've loved the Mannix 2 longer than I've had this particular one, but this is my forever Mannix. I bought this knife, if you look way back on my channel, I talk about the reason I bought it. I bought the black one with the black DLC because I don't generally like black DLC blades, and I thought, you know what? The Mannix 2 is like the ultimate user knife. It's not that expensive. It's made really well. It's got a lock that I trust. And if I buy one that's not pretty or not pretty to me, maybe I will be more inclined to use it. And that absolutely worked. I will use this knife for almost anything. And I recently dressed it up with these copper scales that are taking patina nicely. They're finally darkening. I put the deep carry MXG gear clip on there. And yeah, now it weighs like 8.5 ounces with these scales, and it's super butt heavy. I do not care. I love this thing. I love the heft on it. I love how easy it is to manipulate, and I trust it. You know, once you put a knife through that much abuse, you really start to respect and trust it. And this knife just has my respect. It's not going anywhere. I'm never, ever going to get rid of it. Plus, oh my gosh, those ergos. Part of the reason why, you know, I got the SE, you can see the ergonomics are super similar between these two. I've talked about that before. This isn't the first time the Mannix 2 has made one of these top 5 lists for a multitude of different reasons, but that's the style of ergonomics that I like. You know, that finger choil with the direct choke up position behind the blade. I am a huge fan of that. Not going anywhere. Love my Mannix. You will see it on the channel a lot. Number 9. I'm kind of cheating here, and you guys probably know this knife is coming, but I'll explain why I'm cheating. This is the Hinderer XM18 3.5 inch DLT trading exclusive no choil Spanto in M390 generation 6. Did I say that? And it has the full titanium textured front scale. Now, it's not actually the knife that I'll never sell. And I know you're thinking, hey, you're cheating. You said this was only about knives. Yeah, whatever. It's my channel. I can do what I want. It's not the knife that I'll never sell. It's the scale. This scale is solid. It's not milled. These new titanium scales coming out of the ranch or from Rick Hinderer directly, they all have milling on them, and that's to reduce weight, and that's because most people just want their knives to weigh less. You know, a lot of people who are buying Hinderer XM18s, they like the idea of a full titanium version of it, but they don't like the idea of their knife weighing 6.5 ounces, which is what this one weighs with this plate. So the milling that they're doing on these scales is reducing the weight, and that's great for people who want the weight reduction. I don't. On my Hinderer knives, I want them to weigh that much. I like that solidity. This is also an old school one that does not have the horse head on the underside. You know, they started doing that to make sure, you know, and keep things from being counterfeited. This is a real scale, absolutely. It wouldn't fit this well if it wasn't, and it also the tumbling wouldn't match perfectly if that were the case. But yeah, this one does not have that on there. It's old school and it's solid, and I am under the impression or fearing that we will not see the solid scales anymore. I have a feeling they're going to be discontinued. I mean, I don't know that for sure. I'm just worried that that's going to happen, and so I'm never going to get rid of that scale. This was the one that got me in, you know, like the first time I saw like what I thought was the ultimate knife, it looked almost exactly like this. It was a Rick Hinderer XM18 early Gen 4 Spanto that had the full titanium scale on it, and it was textured and stonewashed just like this, and it was like a lightning bolt hit me right in the face, and I was like, I want that knife. Actually, if that happened, I wouldn't be thinking I'd want that knife. I'd be dead. But that's what it felt like, you know. It struck me, and I was like, that is amazing. So now I have it, and I'm never getting rid of that scale. It's universal, you know. I can get rid of the knife and get a Hinderer that I might consider better, or perhaps even perfect. Foreshadowing. There's a new Hinderer coming at some point. Anyways, let's move on here to number 10, the final knife. Okay, so I actually had to cut the video there. You guys are probably wondering why the thumbnail says my top 10.5 knives that I would never sell. And that's because when I finished the video and went back and watched it, I realized I left a knife out. So in my hand here, I actually have my 9.5 knife that I'm going to show before I show the 10th knife. This is, of course, the Ontario Rat Model 1 in D2 steel. Much like the Cadet, it's really just not worth that much money, but it's made incredibly well, and I have used this knife a ton. In fact, this knife has appeared many, many times on my channel, and it's appeared at least once in these top 5 or top 10 videos. This is a knife that is made in a way that for the cost is just. It's hard to beat. Everybody's aware of this knife. This knife isn't news to anybody. You've got D2 steel, you've got a flat ground blade, these are plastic handles, but you've got nice thick steel liners. The knife is running on phosphor bronze washers. I mean, this is just like a super beater. I mean, not only is it made well, but ergonomically it's great, and you don't have to feel bad about it. I use this knife all the time in my backyard, beat on it. I've said that many times before. It's so easy to manipulate with one hand. It's got a pocket clip that I like, and a lot like the Mannix 2, I've just come to respect it from using it so much. So absolutely, this makes my top 10.5 list as my 9.5 knife. So anyways, on to the final knife. So the final knife that I will never, ever sell has very recently become special to me. And on top of that, I'm actually physically incapable of getting rid of it. This is the Rainbow Lady of the Sea, the Tac Force mermaid knife. I am soulbound to this knife, and I can't get rid of it. Also, they say that legendary blades, truly legendary blades, are strengthened by the blood of their foes. This knife has unboxed only a few packages, but has not been cleaned, and I plan to keep it that way. Because I hear, like I said, it only strengthens blades, so that's how it's going to remain. This knife is the official unboxing knife of my channel, and I plan to unbox many, many packages with this knife in the future. So expect to see it, and I can only imagine this blade it'll only get stronger, or realistically, it'll probably just get duller. In any case, that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it provided some entertainment for you. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like. If you would like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So please take a look at my content. And if you enjoy all of it, then subscribe to my channel, because there is definitely more coming. Keep in mind, tomorrow will be episode 2 of my Quest for the Ultimate Folding Knife series. So if you are interested in checking that out, check out episode 1 and then tune in for episode 2. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.